All right, what's up, guys? I'm Intrusive, founder of Reality Reconnect, the #1 DPDR recovery program in the world. And now I'm here with one of my favorite clients ever, Owen, who actually struggled with DPDR for 4 years, and he recovered in 2.5 months with my help. I figured it was just right to fly him out from the UK and just talk about his story. So yeah, Owen, just introduce yourself. Where are you from? How does everything start?
Of course, so like you said, my name's Owen. 21 from England, and yeah, it started with a night of smoking weed, right? It was smoking weed for a good while with my friends, and one night it was too much. One night I smoked way too much, and
Too much.
before you know it, it was life turned upside down.
Yep. The most common story, right? The same thing happened with me technically. Same thing happened with so many of my clients.
Yeah.
Take me back to like what life looked like before that though. Like what was life growing up? What was life, just like
Yeah.
being a person, you know?
Perfect. Literally, like growing up, having a normal childhood. Never experienced anxiety. Never had any anxiety in my life. Out with my friends every weekend. My girlfriend, living life, having fun. I had no complaints. Like genuinely, my life before DPDR, I couldn't have asked for much more.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like take me back to the moment where everything changed. Like what was that night like?
Yeah.
What was that moment like?
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
I'll never forget it. It was a night with my friends, and we were smoking weed in like a bit of a forest, and smoked way too much, like more than I ever smoked in my life. And I remember standing up, and it was like my world just broke in front of me. Like reality just snapped. My brain had just broken. I didn't know what was going on. I did not have a clue what was going on, and then it was just filled with like anxiety and panic and fear. And that was one of the worst nights of my life.
Yeah, I mean, that resonates with me so hard. And people watching this understand what that feels like to like your reality literally just crumble. That's how I described it. Like your reality just crumbles. Like you just feel so out of it. Just no words to describe it.
Absolutely.
And then obviously you had a panic attack, correct?
Yeah.
So what did that feel like? Was this your first panic attack?
First panic attack. Like I said, I'd never had anxiety in my life. I didn't even know what a panic attack was. Like I'd heard of it, of course, but anxiety, panic attacks, like I didn't know what that was. So on that night when that panic attack hit, that was like the scariest thing of all time. I had no idea what was going on. I was convinced that I was dying or I was going crazy. I was like schizophrenic. I was going to psychosis. Like I had no clue. It was insane.
That's exactly the same as I experienced, as so many of us experienced. And after that day, what did life feel like?
Yeah, so that night happened, and I woke up the next day. It felt like I was still high. I remember sitting there thinking like, I'm just still high right now. This will wear off.
Right,
But it was weird. It was weird, of course. And then a couple of days go by, and it's like, still high. And I'm researching. It's like, it could take a week to get out of the system. So I'm like, I'm freaking out a little bit, but I'm like, okay, after a week, I'll be good.
Yeah.
A week goes by, and one day I'm just sitting there chilling. Another panic attack comes out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. I'm just sitting there chilling, panic attack out of nowhere. And that was when the really, really intense DPDR like fully kick-started from that point.
Yeah. It's so funny because a lot of people have had that experience where they've heard of it, where like they've been high for a couple days, even though it's not possible. It's just a dissociative mechanism kicking in. But clearly for you, like you got hit with another panic attack, and that's just solidified it. And that's when your nervous system was just on overdrive from there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. And like, what did that feel like, the symptoms? Like, what were you experiencing, I mean, you had it for 4 years. I know there's different severities, different stages to it. But like, what would you say were your top symptoms?
Yeah, I mean, at the start, it's the scariest because number one, I didn't even know what DPDR was. I never heard of DPDR in my life.
Right.
So waking up and I'm like out of it, completely out of it, like disconnected from reality. I didn't even know what being alive was. I didn't even know what being a human was. So then that led to existential thoughts, the wildest thoughts of all time.
Right.
The feeling like I was in a dream. Genuinely, some days sitting there, like, I feel like I could just wake up at any moment and like this was all a dream. None of this existed.
100%.
The anxiety, the physical symptoms, like the heart palpitations and like the tightness of, your chest and your breath. just the intense anxiety and fear, constantly like just sitting there thinking like I'm going crazy, I'm going insane, out of it.
100%.
The wildest combination.
Yeah, I mean, I want to really dive in on the symptoms because people at home watching this, I want them to really feel and understand what we went through,
Yeah.
right? What you went through. So, I mean, I think you wrote a list of symptoms that
Yeah.
you had down. I definitely want to go through everything. The
Yeah.
first thing you said was just feeling disconnected from reality. Obviously, most people don't know what that feels like, what people watching this do.
Yeah.
Like, you just a complete disconnect
Yeah.
from the world, from your body, from anything, from your memories,
Literally.
right?
That's a big one. That's actually a big one. My memory was the worst. I remember having days where genuinely I would go, to college. I couldn't even remember how I got home. I
Right.
couldn't remember anything from the day. My memory was the worst. And like that disconnect of like, you go maybe see your friends or
Mhm.
you go out and it's like there's just a glass screen in front of you and you're just so out of it.
That's it. Did you ever experience you feel like you're watching your life through the
Yes.
screen, like behind your eyes?
Absolutely.
That's the worst.
That was the
It's
worst.
horrible.
And I think also because movements, you would almost like, is this me walking right now? Is this me talking right now? Is this me grabbing this cup right now? All this stuff. And because you're so out of it, you don't even feel anything.
You feel like you're almost like a robot, right?
Genuinely.
You feel like
Yeah.
you're just being on autopilot. You're
Yeah.
being controlled by something, by someone.
Absolutely.
Hated that feeling. What else did you experience? The existential thoughts, right? Let's talk about that. It's something that shook me to
Yes.
my core.
Yes.
Almost, took my life, honestly. That was the worst. What did that feel like for you? What were some thoughts that were going through your head? Just everything.
Well, number one, I remember telling you specifically at the start that was my number one symptom. Number one symptom. Those thoughts they were endless because the thoughts would start, which would obviously make me more anxious, but then that would cause more thoughts, cause more anxiety, and I felt I was just stuck in a loop. And the existential thoughts were a lot like, how am I human? How am I alive? What is the universe? What is the sky? What are the clouds? What is life?
Mm.
I used to have a weird one about like animals. How are animals alive? How is their consciousness an animal? What is consciousness? All
Literally.
of this stuff, and it would freak me out to the core.
Horrible. I went through the same thing, and the existential thoughts mixed with the hyper awareness of
Yes.
how do my eyes work?
Yes.
Right? How do I talk?
Mhm.
Like, why do I have hands?
Yeah.
Why do I have eyes, face,
Yes.
ears?
Huge.
Like looking at my cats, my dogs, like, what the fuck are these
Wild.
things? Like looking at my mom, looking at my family members, like I almost felt like humans were aliens in a way.
Absolutely.
Like I felt like my mom was an alien.
Absolutely.
It was terrifying. It was horrible.
Mhm.
And like all the memories I had of her just felt fake.
Yeah.
All the memories I had as a kid just felt fake.
Yeah.
It just felt like
was that even you?
it felt like it was just like some story that was made up.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Absolutely. Like, I think that was a big one for me too, was like the friends and the family, because it's people who you've known for years, your parents, and you're looking at them like that emotional numbness, like that disconnect from like, is this actually, is this my mum? Are these my friends? Like, who are these people? You think back to memories and it doesn't resonate with you. You almost think like, was that actually me there? Like, is that my memory? Is that me?
Mhm.
Wild.
It also just strips your identity because you
Yes.
just don't know who you are.
Yep.
You don't know, like, there was certain points in my journey where I just didn't even know what I stood for
Genuinely.
as a person.
Mhm.
Like, I had no idea what I stood for. And I felt like everything I had built up to this point, like my discipline as an athlete,
Yeah.
just like my confidence, my personality was gone.
Yep.
It was like I was literally just dropped. This is how I described it. I felt like I was like dropped into this world, just like literally dropped. Like
That's what I tell people.
it was like, what?
Yeah.
It made no sense.
Like, just dropped on an alien planet.
Literally.
And you just woke up like, whoa, what's going on right now? It's like the confusion. And that's what would lead to the confusion for me too, because it was like the identity thing of not knowing who I was, what I stood for, what I even liked or what I didn't like, because those things I'm trying to do them now, but I couldn't even connect with it. And then it would lead to so much confusion of like, what is even going on right now? And then that would lead to more anxiety. And like I said, specifically at the start, when I didn't even know what DPDR was, it was out of this world.
Worst.
Yeah.
Let's touch up on a couple more symptoms. The intrusive thoughts kind of go hand in hand with the existential thoughts, but a
Yes.
little bit different, right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, my intrusive thoughts, I mean, there's millions, but like, I got some horrible ones of
Yeah.
like hurting people,
Yes.
hurting myself,
Yes.
like just anything and everything. It was
Everything.
horrible. Like everything that went against my morals.
Yeah.
And that's when we talk about the OCD-like symptoms,
Yes.
right? A lot of people get it confused because, yes, you can experience DPDR with OCD, but when you're experiencing DPDR, it's basically guaranteed that you're going to experience OCD-like symptoms.
Exactly right.
Because your mind is in that anxious state, right? So what were some like OCD-like symptoms that you experienced?
The obsessing of like, just what is going on right now? What is going on right now? Like,
What's
how am I-
wrong with me?
Yeah, what's wrong with me? And that's why I even said like, I told you this beforehand, where I'm so glad that I went to the doctors, but I'm so glad that it didn't go as far as it is, it didn't go further than what it did, because if they had told me I had like OCD, for example, I would have believed it. I would have absolutely believed it, and that would have been my identity, and I would have said, I've got OCD. And I'm so glad they never told me that now, because it mimics OCD type stuff. Genuinely, that obsession with the thoughts and the feelings, and like, it's like you can't even beat your thoughts. They're just constantly racing.
Just intrusive, just
So
looping
intrusive.
and looping and looping. And
Yeah.
it's like someone's in your head.
Yes.
You know what it felt like for me? It felt like there was like an entity in my
Yeah.
head. And he just wanted the worst for me.
Absolutely.
He just was out to get me.
Mhm.
And he would tell me everything that I didn't want to hear.
Yeah.
Like everything and anything.
Mhm.
I thought my brain was broken. I thought I was going schizophrenic. I thought I was
Yes.
going crazy. That's another symptom. Let's talk about that. Like, feeling like you're going crazy. Feeling
Yeah.
like you're losing your mind. Like
Yeah.
you're just, like, you're crazy.
Genuinely, like, I was convinced. There was so many times where I was so close to actually like, I need to go to psych ward. I need to go to a mental hospital. Like, I can't do this anymore. I'm crazy.
100%.
Convinced, fully convinced. And that's the thing, like,
It's
of course you're not going crazy, right? Of course you're not. But in the moment, like, all the evidence,
it just feels like
it just feels like
Yeah.
all the evidence in front of you is just telling you I'm going crazy. And you just think,
1000%.
what else am I going to believe?
Yeah.
And you run
And there
with
were
it.
times where I felt like I needed to go to the psych ward, like
Yes.
not just for my own safety, for like others.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I could snap at any second.
Mhm.
I feel like I was just so out of control that I could
Yes.
just absolutely lose it.
Yeah.
And that was horrible. It's like,
Mhm.
both of us, healthy guys growing up, and it's just like all of a sudden you get dropped
Yeah.
into this world where you're just losing your mind, essentially.
Absolutely.
Any other symptoms we talk about before we get into anything else?
Yeah, let me actually check. I think
What about some physical symptoms like,
Yeah.
dizziness, heart palpitations,
yes.
like whatever, like all the symptoms, like muscle twitches?
Muscle twitches, huge.
Mhm.
Heart palpitations were huge for me, because it would just take one little thing and my heart would start going. And it was like I couldn't get off it. I couldn't stop fixating on it, which would then get me more scared, which would make my heart beat faster. And it was just like, and again, just a loop where it fed itself. Like my chest tightened up, shortness of breath, muscle twitches were huge for me. There was a lot of physical symptoms. And again, that's why it is so hard, because at the core it's a mental battle, but it does turn physical too.
It does.
It does. It absolutely turns physical.
We need to talk about the visual symptoms. We completely forgot about
We
that.
completely forgot about
The
that.
visual symptoms, the floaters, just the zooming in and
Yes.
out,
Oh my
the
God.
distortions, the like almost, I felt like my vision was lagged. It was
Yes.
like if it was going frame by frame almost.
Mm-hmm.
What did it feel like for you?
That was one of the scariest ones. The vision. And I'll never forget this. I remember I was walking and I looked up at this. It was like a tall building. Genuinely, no word of a lie. It was zooming in and out towards me. I could physically see it coming towards me, moving away. And at that point, I'm like, I've got to be crazy. I've got to be. Like, what is this? And then that was something that would come on and off, but that zooming in and out would happen quite often. The floaters was there every single day. The eye floaters, like teardrops almost, like just like floaters in my vision, staticky vision, seeing like colours and stuff like that.
Vision.
Like that lag that you see too. And that's what that one is. It does feel like one of the hardest symptoms too, because your vision's always there. Like, you know what I mean? Your eyes are awake, you're always there. So it's like from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, it's just vision. And the symptoms are there.
It just reminds you of
It
the
reminds you
entire thing.
always like, oh, I'm still on DPDR. Still got DPDR. Every time.
100%. See if anything else we need to bring up. I also want to bring up the message that you sent me at the very
Absolutely.
beginning,
Yeah.
because I think it's just like,
I'll never forget that.
yeah. Let's see if anything else. We talked about the hyper-awareness, over-analyzing existence. the brain fog, the confusion,
Yes.
the loss of emotions too. You just feel
Yeah.
like you're numb.
Huge.
Panic, shortness of breath, all that, fear of losing control. Yeah, we definitely touched on that. And now
Yeah.
let's go into the message you sent me. I'll never forget this message. For whatever reason, I'll just never forget your message. Like, I don't know what it was, to be honest. I was just at the gym, to be honest, and I saw Owen Kendall want to send you a message. And I just opened it. I usually don't open it like right away. I just opened it. And I could just tell that you were so committed from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I remember sending you a voice message just because like I could just tell the commitment was there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm scrolling all the way up in her messages. Let's check it.
Yeah, I never forget that, genuinely.
Yeah, look, he said, yo, brother, I want to lock in with you as soon as I get back from vacation. Your work looks legit. I would do it now, but I'm in Thailand. I'll be back and I'm ready to beat my DPDR.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you guys can kind of see that. He just swiped up on a story right
Yeah.
there. And then I sent him a voice message. I don't even know what I said. Let's read the description. It's not loading up. But then from there, I asked him a couple questions, and then we set up the consultation call, and the rest is history.
Boom.
So let's get into that, right? Had some questions here for you. Give me one sec. Okay, we definitely talked about that. I mean, man, did you ever feel like you were the exception, though? Did you ever feel like your brain was too broken or you were too far gone 4 years into DPDR?
Of course. I mean, after 4 years, you learn to live with it. Like, this was my reality now. DPDR is my life. So after 4 years, and trying a lot of things too, you know, I was at a boxing fight. I was eating pretty good. I was going to the gym. And you feel like, you know, because people say live your life, right? They say go live your life, do what you got to do. So I'm doing this. It's not working. So I'm like, yeah, I'm the exception. I'm the one who can't recover. I'm the guy who's stuck.
And that's the most destructive advice. Even though I feel like that advice can help a lot of people, it also messes up a lot of people. Like the classic advice for DPDR online is just go live your life, wait it out, in a couple weeks, couple months, it'll be gone. But it's so misleading.
It is.
Because living the same life you lived prior to DPDR is going to get you in the same place you are today.
Exactly.
And people
right.
don't understand that. You can't rewire your nervous system, rewire your brain in the same environment, in the same places, the same habits, the same everything. They got you into this in the first place.
Very
true. So yeah, it's super misleading. And what else do I have for you? Yeah, I mean, I remember specifically for you, you felt like your brain was broken. You felt like you were too far gone. Can you talk more about what that felt like?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, brain was broken. After so many like intense panic attacks like that, I thought it was irreversible. I thought like, I put my brain through too much stress, too much trauma. I was like, there's no way my brain could heal from this. Like, genuinely, there's no way the amount of, just like I said, stress, trauma, panic that I've put on my brain. I was like, no way it can recover. No way. But clearly there must have been a part inside me that did believe it, because otherwise I wouldn't have worked with you.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, how do you go? A lot of people relate to that, including myself. Like, I wanted a brain scan more than anything.
Yes.
Because I just really felt like my brain was broken. I remember like, you know, crying and just like begging for a brain scan. But how did you go from thinking your brain was broken to reaching out to me and being like, I believe in you. I believe in your work. I want to work with you.
Yeah.
Like, what inspired that?
Yeah. I think because after 4 years of, you know, I've done a lot of research on it, and I did know that recovery was possible. I knew it was. And I did know, I think subconsciously I knew that recovery was possible for me. And there was that little bit of like, what if inside? And then seeing your content almost like lit that fire of like, that tiny little belief that I had latched onto you. And it was like, this is the guy. If this is going to work, this is the guy right here. And that's all I needed. The tiniest bit of belief, tiniest bit of hope, and it took me to where I am today.
Belief is everything, man. I love that. And that's honestly one of the biggest things that I'm proud of is like, of course, number one is the clients. Like, you know, working with guys like you, getting you guys fully recovered, having a 100% success rate and doing that means everything to me. But I know the biggest impact too, or like just as important, is the impact I've made on other people that haven't even talked to me. Like, I know for a fact that people have watched my content. They've seen this guy living their life, helping so many other people, and they just sparks that hope that it's possible. you know? And I get a bunch of people commenting on my stuff nowadays where like, man, you helped me so much. Like I remember watching your content months ago. I'm fully recovered now. I had one girl comment the other day. She's like, 2 months ago I was stuck in DPDR and today I'm jumping off a plane.
Insane.
Like she was like literally like going skydiving.
That's wild.
And it's just awesome to see because I know I've made a huge impact on that.
Yeah.
And that's what ultimately that's all I needed. That's all I needed. I mean, I would have loved to have a coach. I would have died for a coach. I would have died for someone to help me. But if I just had more hope and someone saying like, you can do this, it's actually not even that hard.
Yeah.
It would have changed things for me. So I love that I did that for you and so many others. And what did you feel like what was your lowest moment for people to really grasp how bad it got? What was your lowest moment? Did you ever have like suicidal thoughts? Did you ever have a day where you accepted death, where you just accepted that it was over for you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there was many low moments. You know, after 4 years, there's so many low moments. And I think one that specifically stands out to me was for the first year of DPDR, I didn't drink. Like, I wouldn't, of course, you know, the thought of drinking alcohol scared the life out of me, right? Eventually I did. I had one time where I was like, all right, I'm going to try it. And while I drank, I was okay. Genuinely, I felt back to normal. But then the next day, 10 times worse.
Classic.
10 times worse. And
Classic.
I knew this, and I would mentally prepare for the next day being the worst thing of my life, but I still done it anyways, because it was the only relief, only escape that I got. And I remember one time specifically, it was, you know, I'd been out drinking on the night, and the next day I woke up and my DPDR was probably the worst it had ever been in the full 4 years. I remember lying in my bed, like, the suicidal thoughts were just running through my head, like, we can't do this any longer. We can't, like, we got to end it all. We've got to do this, we've got to do that. And it scared the life out of me. Like, I couldn't believe my life had came of this. If you had told me before DPDR that I would ever get this low, I wouldn't believe you. I'd say impossible. I would put everything on it that would be impossible. And now I'm sitting here lying in bed, genuinely contemplating it, and it wild. It's, really low.
And I think that's the worst part too. It's like you feel like your life is gone. You feel like you just went from a normal guy, a normal person, to now living this life just not worth living almost. It's just like, like it hurt me so much looking back at old memories of mine, being like, I just want to be normal again. Like I just want to feel normal. I just want to be normal. And now you're essentially contemplating suicide. It's the worst. It's the worst. And did you ever feel like before you joined the program, did you ever feel like you were skeptical or you were still, like the first message you reached out, you're like, I trust your work, I believe in you. But deep down, did you still feel like you were skeptical about recovery or about the program?
Of course. Like, I think being skeptical is completely normal. And I was skeptical, but I had to take the chance. I had to. But being skeptical was huge. Like, I remember us speaking and, you know, walking through the program and how we're going to get a recovery. And of course, there's that voice. We can't do it. We can't recover. This isn't for us. This is a scam. We can't do it. Like, that voice was just there. But I had to be the bigger person, because I realized, you know, like, the anxious brain, it's never going to accept the truth. And I realize that now. It's like, you know, the truth is you're going to go for a walk and you're in control. The anxious brain's going to tell you, like, oh, you're not in control. This isn't you controlling your legs. You're going crazy. So I kind of realized that, like, the truth is you will get me to recovery. My anxious brain was telling me there's no way, so skeptical. But I just had to put it to one side and, like, work with you, put my trust in you. Best decision I ever made.
I love that. I appreciate that. Do you feel like skepticism is a symptom of the condition?
Absolutely. Like, without a shadow of a doubt. Skeptical about everything. I mean, of course, I was skeptical to work with you, but it was bigger than that. I was skeptical about everything in my life, overthinking every situation, almost because, of course, you're on edge. So it's like the smallest little things of, like, feeling like a confrontation is about to happen any minute, skeptical about this going wrong or that going wrong, always thinking the worst, like, very pessimistic. That was something that I felt riddled with, like, skepticism just in a day-to-day life.
Yeah, and that's just a classic, because, like, I talk with all my clients after they recover, and I'm like, I ask them the same questions, like, did you ever have your doubts? And they're like, yeah, man, like, my mind was telling me the worst things. They were like, what if this is a scam?
Mm-hmm.
What if I can never recover? What if I'm the one person
Yes.
that doesn't recover? You know, what if it gets worse? What if I, waste my money, etc.?
Yeah.
And I feel like you have to expect those thoughts to happen.
Absolutely.
You can't expect that because of the state you're in, you can't expect to be like this calm, like it's not going to be like that, like your mind is going to race. It's going to think of every what if scenario.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be like, what specific thought can I give him or her to make them not step out of their comfort zone? Because that's what it is. At the end of the day, your nervous system wants to keep you safe.
Yeah.
So when you're making a big decision like overcoming DPDR and changing your life around, it's going to throw things at you, right? And your ability to respond to these thoughts and these skeptical thoughts and these worries and this anxiety, that's what's going to dictate your success, right?
Yeah.
No one's ever recovered by not facing that, right? You can't listen to those thoughts, because if you do, you're just telling your mind, hey, I want to be stuck like this. That's it. I want to be stuck like this. So every single person that's recovered has had to take that first step of like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not listening to you. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to commit to it. And we're going to give it the best we got.
Absolutely.
Simple. It's got to be that way.
It's got to be that way.
It's got to be that way. And I want to talk about your recovery process, okay? Like how that even looked like for you, okay? Actually, no, I want to talk about the turning point, like your mindset of like how, like, what made you like actually pull the trigger though on your recovery? Was it just like you were tired 4 years in, you were tired of living this way? What made you actually pull the trigger on it?
I just knew my potential, and I knew that I had so much more to offer in life than what I was doing right now. I was sick of living in fear, holding back and not having like the memories and the experiences and just enjoying life. I was sick of it all. Like I couldn't do it any longer. I felt I was just being robbed of life experiences and memories and achieving goals and just doing all the things that the younger me would have wanted me to do. I feel like I was just slipping away from everything, because even if I put in 100% with DPDR, it was probably equal to 70% without DPDR. And I couldn't live like that anymore. I couldn't do it.
That's so deep, man. Like, that's like literally the same thing as me. Like, I was just so sick and tired of living like that. And worst of all, I just knew I had so much in me. I knew I had so much potential. I knew I had so much to give. I knew I had more in me. And just like visualizing what my life would look like if I continued down this road was a life that I just like, it scared me. It made me feel disgusted with myself. It made me just repulsed to this idea of this life where I just don't live, essentially. I don't live. And that scared me so much, and it just built a fire in me that I was like, I'm making it happen.
Boom.
I'm not letting that happen, And then, okay, boom, you joined the program, Owen. And what was that like? What was your first week look like inside of the program?
Yeah, I mean, during the program, and I'm going through the education.
Right, you're going through the entire course.
Yeah, going through the entire course, and don't get me wrong, even going through that, I was still very, very anxious. Very, very anxious, and I'm going through it, but I realized a lot. That alone made me realize that I'm going to recover. It almost like that little belief and hope was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it got to a point where I was like, I'm going to recover. Like, I will find a way no matter what. I was like, I know if I follow the plan, I will recover. And that is it. I'd never had that mindset. In 4 years, the full 4 years, I'd never had this much belief and hope that I could do it. And I just felt myself getting like bigger and bigger and bigger. And then,
let's go.
We got to work. And
we got to work. And at what point would you say that you saw like your first result? Like, at what point of the program did you see results?
Genuinely in the first week.
First week.
Genuinely, because I started doing things that I never would have done. I'll give you an example. I know we spoke about this, but I lived close to a bridge. My full story with DPDR, I would never cross that bridge. It would freak me out. I couldn't do it. Within that first week, I realized I need to cross that bridge. Like, I've got stuff to do. I've got stuff to do. So I started crossing it. And guess what? It wasn't comfortable at the start. But after a couple of times, I was good. I was absolutely good. And I felt like I could feel myself taking the power back. Of like, I'm in control. I'm taking the power back now. My mindset was getting stronger. My ability to do things all in the first week. It was astonishing.
That's awesome. And that actually brings up a great point where it's like, I didn't tell you to go run over the
No.
bridge. I didn't tell you to do that. Very similar to another client I had, Rachel, who I just filmed an interview with, a Zoom interview. Her first day on the program, she didn't drive for 3 months. I think it was 2 or 3 months before the program. Her first day on the program, she drove. I didn't tell her to do that, right?
Yeah.
Never. I did not tell her to do that. But because I inspire you and because I inspire you guys and because I make you believe that it's possible, I make you believe it's possible so much to the point where you guys do that by yourself.
Yeah.
I didn't have to tell
No.
you to do that.
No, not at all.
I didn't even hint it.
No.
You just made it happen because you believe in yourself.
Genuinely.
And when you hop on that frequency of, really committing to yourself, it's wonderful what happens when you really give it your
Yeah.
all, when you really go all in on something.
Yeah.
You just start doing things like that.
That's the thing, like, you didn't even need to tell me that. You didn't need to say a word. But the belief that it was still in me, like, there was almost a new voice in my head saying, like, we can do this. We can do this. Like, we've got this. And then I started doing things. Yeah, it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
That's amazing. And okay, so first week you're feeling better, right?
Yeah.
And then from there, you made a full recovery in 2.5 months,
Yeah.
right? Was it like a linear process? Was it up and down? Tell
Up and
us,
down.
like, what is recovery supposed to feel like?
Yeah. Look, it's up and down. It's absolutely up and down because the feelings fluctuate. Like, don't get me wrong, I would feel amazing. Some days I would wake up and I would feel a few symptoms heavier than the day before. I had, pretty hard days, pretty tough days, but the mindset stayed the same every day. Of like, I've got to get it done no matter what, no matter how I feel. And that was the game changer for me. Like, of course, tough days, tough moments is guaranteed. And the fact that I just committed to my recovery during that was what I think changed everything.
1,000%, 1,000%. And I always say, let your actions speak louder than your feelings.
Yeah.
So, people ask me, how do I know I'm recovering? Well, the truth is I can't answer that question because I don't know what plan you're on.
Yeah.
If you're not on a plan, don't expect to recover, quite
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
Like, if you haven't created a plan for yourself, even when I had no one, I created a plan for myself. If you don't have a plan, I don't know if you're recovering. If you have a plan, you're following it every day, that is recovery. That is progress because you're sticking to something.
Absolutely.
You're letting your nervous system, regulate itself. You're giving it structure, you're giving it direction, you're giving it guidance. Your
Yeah.
nervous system is like a baby. It needs that. It needs direction. It needs guidance. It needs to know what's coming next. If not, you could be feeling great. And I know you've had a bunch of these moments where you feel great one day and you're like, oh my God, this is
yeah.
great.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
the next day, bang, right back into it.
Yeah.
And now you feel discouraged because you're like, what happened? I was feeling so
Yeah.
good. But the truth is that that's normal. That's how
Yeah.
recovery happens.
It's guaranteed.
It's guaranteed. Those bad days are absolutely guaranteed.
Absolutely, without a shadow of a
And
doubt.
I want to ask you, how did I help you on those tough days? Because I remember
Yeah.
even a month in, even damn near 2 months in, you had some tough
Yeah.
moments.
Yeah.
But how did I help you respond to make sure it wasn't a setback? It was actually progression.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the big thing that you helped me with was, like, if I did have tough days or tough moments, I could reach out to you. And instead of making me feel like, poor Owen, like, he's like a victim, or like, okay, now, like, maybe take a day off, maybe go and watch a movie, maybe chill out today. You got me in that mindset straight away. You told me, like, no, like, I understand what you're feeling. I understand this, but this is how you need to respond. This is what you need to do to keep getting better. And anytime if I found myself, slipping into old ways, you were right on me. You were right on me to be like, no, this isn't what we need to do. This is what we need to do. The accountability and just, like, firing me up and just tapping me into that energy of, like, the greatest version of me. It was game changing.
I love it. I love it. And that's what it's about, like, having that support on those tough days.
Yeah.
Because the truth is that if you don't respond correctly on those days, you can go right back to square one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if you went a full month just doing so well and you don't know how to respond or you don't have someone on those tough days, you're just going to spiral. You're going to spiral right back into it. So I think that's just such an important aspect. What do you think made the biggest difference for you? Or what were, like, your favorite, parts of the program, whether it was
Yeah.
the course, the weekly calls, the community, the one-on-one access to me on
Yeah.
those tough moments?
I'd say number one was the one-on-one access. Genuinely, every day knowing I've got a professional by my side. Somebody who has literally been through everything I've been through and knows how to guide me through every moment. That was game-changing. The weekly calls too. I used to love those. I couldn't wait for them. The weekly calls of just like sharing wins, also, seeing where there's maybe an obstacle or two, where we need to do a little bit better, and then we go for the next week, and then do the same thing and the same thing. So I think the daily accountability and the one-on-one was great. The weekly calls I love too, and even the education, because the education is what really made me realize that recovery is possible and changed my whole mindset about everything.
I love that. And what do you think actually contributed to a recovery in 2.5 months? A lot of people watching this might be stuck a couple years in, and they can't imagine how long it would take. They can't imagine the work. They can't imagine that, right? So, like, what was I going to ask you? I actually forgot what I was going to ask you. I had it right here. Oh, yeah, like, what contributed to such a fast recovery for you?
Outworking my self-doubt every single time. Outworking my self-doubt, because, like you said, guaranteed, right? There's days where it's tough. There's days where the self-doubt creeps in. I had to outwork it. Every single day, and becoming undeniable. Like, that was the main thing for me, was like, I will work so hard, they can't deny my success. My brain cannot deny my success. My nervous system cannot deny it. In not focusing on how I feel too much, because, like I said before, the feelings fluctuate. I had to accept that today I might feel good, today I might not feel too good, but I've got stuff to do, and getting it done, and chasing the discomfort, and just taking back control.
1,000%. Was there a specific moment, Owen, that you felt like, wow, like, I'm recovered, I feel normal again?
Yeah.
It was?
I specifically remember that I was actually on the train to the gym, and I remember kind of sitting there, and I was like, I feel good. And I remember looking out the window. I was like, I'm good. And they're just like, the smiling and the emotion, it was just unbelievable. And this wasn't something that just happened overnight. It was, it was a build-up of days and days and moments. But, it wasn't like the day before I felt quite a lot of symptoms and the next day it was all gone. It was kind of like, in that last week, it was just kind of like forgetting about it more and more and more. And I had this realization, like, I'm good. I'm absolutely good. There's nothing wrong with me anymore.
Nothing.
And it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
That's amazing. That's literally amazing. And a lot of people want to know, like, does normal really feel like normal again? Because, like, I know when I was struggling with this, for example, like, I felt like on the off chance that I do recover, whatever that means, I just felt like I was going to be stuck. Like, thinking like this, I was going to be stuck. At least something where it was not normal.
I was the same. I genuinely couldn't picture life without DPDR. I mean, after 4 years too, I didn't even know what normal felt like. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, does it feel normal again? Or am I always going to have anxious thoughts or lingering, like, little lingering symptoms? Is there always going to be a hint of it there? No. Normal is normal. And it's beautiful. And it is something that it's hard to fathom when you're in DPDR, right? Like, you understand that. It's like, when you're in DPDR, it's so hard to think of being fully normal without symptoms. But yes, you do.
You return back to normal. Life as usual. And the weird part is you get used to it so much where it's like, of course, I'm not going to speak for you. How did it feel like, that gratefulness, that just joy of being alive and being normal again? How did that feel?
The gratitude and just the excitement. It was just the small things of, like, I can walk down the street now. I can just go to the park. I can just do anything I want. You feel unstoppable. Genuinely feel unbreakable, untouchable. Like, so empowered. So empowered.
And what are some things that you're doing now that you never thought you'd be able to do back then? Even, like, we started working together. This was earlier this year. Maybe I forgot to bring that up. This was just a couple months ago. It was like 6 months ago, something like that, when we started working together. So what are some things you're doing now that before you just never thought was possible?
Like, just the discipline. Like, by working with you, I run 10 miles the other week. I read a lot. All right, so I read pretty much every single day now. I have a structured routine. I wake up and I work out a lot more. I read. I watch my diet. I take good supplements. I look after my health. Like, I feel like my whole life has just changed.
That's amazing, man. And what would you say to someone who's been stuck with DPDR for maybe not even a couple years? Like, no, what would you say to someone who's only had it for a couple months?
Yeah.
Like, what advice would you give to them who, they don't want to end up like you, unfortunately,
Yeah. That's the thing, is don't end up like me. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Genuinely, if you are still living the same life that got you into DPDR, how do you expect that to get you out of it? Like, if you always done what you've always did, you'll always get what you've always got. So you need to make a change. Do not think that waiting it out is going to work. Do not think that, oh, I'm going to think my way out of it or wait it out. Please don't fall into that trap, because the truth is it doesn't work. I mean, I can tell you from experience, after 4 years, I was convinced that I would figure it out myself, or I would wait it out, or it would go away. My ego was telling me, like, we'll figure it ourselves. We don't need help. We can do it ourselves. And that held me back for years. So just, don't fall into that trap.
I would say something so similar. Just please, for the love of God, number one, please don't wait it out.
Yeah.
Like, please do not think that one day recovery is just going to fall into your lap. You're going to wake up normal again. That's just not how it works. No, unfortunately,
not at all.
It's just not. So please don't waste your life, because every day you get stuck in that mindset is another day gone, another week gone, is another month, another year.
Memories
and
gone.
Owen here first, like Owen will tell you guys, like 4 years of this is no joke, So that's the number one thing I would say as well. And nothing changes if nothing changes,
Yeah.
Like, you can't act like you're this. You can't act like you're. If you want to recover, you can't act like that person you were before. You have to act like someone else.
Yeah. That's what you said before that was really powerful, was like, if you want to act normal, that normal is what got you into DPDR. So how could that normal get you out of it?
Mm-hmm.
That is what caused your DPDR. So you need to make changes.
100%.
So that's very powerful, and I definitely agree with that.
Amazing. And we're almost done here, but if there was one thing, Owen, one thing you could, or a couple things, just anything you would leave this world with, if you had to just, leave this generation with a piece of advice when it comes to overcoming DPDR, what would it be?
Favorite quote of all time: you will find a way, or you will find excuses. Every single time. There's only two options you will take. With DPDR, but with everything in life. You'll either find a way how to do it, or you're going to find excuses. Which type of person are you?
My favorite quote of all time too. When I was stuck in it, I could have made every excuse in the world to be a victim of a situation.
Yeah.
And it would have been valid too. Like I would have had to live with that though.
Yeah.
And knowing that I could have given more and I didn't, that would have haunted me forever.
Yes.
And that would have ruined me. So you heard it here first. You're either going to find a way or you're going to find excuses.
Absolutely.
And Owen, it's been incredible, man. I can't believe you're out here in Miami. How does it feel like to be out here in Miami?
Insane.
After 4 years of DPDR, stuck in the UK?
Wild, like genuinely being out here, blessed. We're out here, we're living life, eating good, making memories, having fun, like genuinely.
Went to the beach yesterday.
Insane.
Just living life out here. And this is what's possible. This is what's possible when you go all in, when you truly, truly put in the work. Despite being scared, despite being anxious, when you go all in, it changes everything.
Absolutely.
And I want to say, just last thing is that I appreciate you so much because you came into the program so committed, so disciplined from the very beginning. And even though I know you had your doubts, you still committed yourself to it.
Yeah.
And every single day you put in the work, every single day you showed yourself that you were that guy, and you showed me, like every single day you were inspiring me at a certain point. I was like, wow, this guy's awesome, this guy's locked in. And now just flying you out here as a client of mine is amazing. It's everything I've ever wanted, everything I could have dreamed of, when I was going through it, helping others.
Yeah.
You're the man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.